All right, everyone, get ready because today we are diving deep into Oktoberfest.
Yeah, we're talking way more than just beer this time.
Exactly. You guys wanted to know more about the history of Oktoberfest.
And we found a Wikipedia article that's full of surprises.
This isn't just a page about a beer festival. You ready to get started?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, so get this, Oktoberfest, as we know, it actually started with a wedding.
It wasn't just any wedding, though.
Definitely not. This was a royal wedding, 1810.
Crown Prince Ludwig and Princess Therese.
The whole city of Munich was going wild.
Huge celebration.
So, of course, they had to have a party, right?
Naturally.
But here's the thing. They didn't have the giant beer tents that we think of today.
Oh.
They had a horse race.
A horse race for a wedding. Can you imagine?
40,000 people came to watch.
Yeah, it was held at the edge of the city.
On the land that is now the Theresienwiese.
That's right.
So, who came up with this horse race idea?
Well, it wasn't the prince himself, actually.
Oh, really?
It was a coachman named Franz Baumgartner.
Interesting.
And get this, his horse won the race.
Wow, what are the chances?
Talk about making a statement.
That's incredible. So we have a coachman who convinces the royal family to have a horse race for their wedding.
Right.
And then his horse wins.
It's a true underdog story.
And that was how Oktoberfest was born?
Well, almost. The Napoleonic Wars kind of interrupted things in 1811.
Ah, right. Napoleon.
Unfortunately, there were a few more bumps in the road over the years. Wars, cholera outbreaks, things like that.
Yeah, history happened.
But every time, Oktoberfest always came back to Munich.
The people needed something to celebrate.
Exactly.
But they probably never expected it would become what it is today. From a horse race to what we know today, it's kind of crazy how much it's changed.
It really is. Throughout the 19th century, Munich was changing fast, and Oktoberfest did too.
I bet. So what came next after the horse race?
Well, they started adding more and more attractions.
Like what?
Carousels and games and all kinds of things to make it more festive. And in 1819, Munich made it official.
Oktoberfest was here to stay.
Every single year. And they kept adding more each time.
I like it. What else?
Like in 1850, they put up the Bavaria statue.
Which is still there today. It's like the symbol of Oktoberfest.
It is. And then in 1872, they decided to switch things up.
Wait, is this about to explain why it's called Oktoberfest when it starts in September?
You know it. They moved it to September to take advantage of the warmer weather.
Makes sense. Who wants to party in the cold?
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got warmer weather. We've got the Bavaria statue. Something's missing, though. What is it?
What could it be?
It's the beer. I mean, it's Oktoberfest.
You got it. There had always been beer at Oktoberfest, but in 1898, they built the first big beer tent, the Bierberg.
And that changed everything.
For sure. Georg Lang was the guy who came up with it.
Smart man.
This guy was a businessman, and he realized people needed a place to sit and hang out and drink their beer.
I can get behind that.
The Bierberg could hold something like 6,000 people.
6,000 in one tent. That's a lot of beer.
That's just how they did it back then. And that's how all those huge beer tents we know and love got their start.
Wow. So Oktoberfest is really starting to look like what we know today.
It was. And then the 20th century hit.
Oh, yeah, things were about to get a little crazy.
A little bit. Oktoberfest went through a lot in those years, but it always came back stronger.
I mean, there were 2 world wars.
You're right, there were.
And times were tough for people.
For sure.
And to top it all off, the Nazi regime tried to use Oktoberfest for their own propaganda.
It definitely wasn't always easy, that's for sure.
But Oktoberfest survived.
That's right.
It makes you think.
It really does.
It's amazing how Oktoberfest has overcome so much. I mean, after everything, it's still going strong.
It really is incredible when you think about it.
Like a symbol of hope, you know?
Yeah, totally. No matter what, they always rebuild, raise their glasses, and celebrate.
It's like after the first half of the 20th century, the world needed a reason to party together.
And Oktoberfest was the perfect fit. Millions of people come to Munich every year now.
I can't even imagine. Millions, speaking of huge numbers.
Those beer tents have gotten pretty big to handle all those people, that's for sure.
How big are we talking?
Well, the article you shared said the festival grounds now cover something like 31 hectares.
Wow.
And the beer tents themselves can fit something like 117,000 people.
117,000 people? That's insane. And all that beer. They must go through so much beer.
Let me check. Okay. In 2019 alone, they went through more than 7.3 million liters of beer.
7.3 million. Okay, wow. I think I need a drink.
Me too. But in all seriousness, Oktoberfest has become a huge deal. It's on everyone's bucket list.
For sure. Who wouldn't want to go?
Exactly. And it's not just good times, it's a huge boost for Munich's economy, too. The article mentioned visitors spent over €1 billion in 2018 alone.
Wow. Over €1 billion. It sounds like everyone wins.
They do. But it's important to remember it's not all about the beer.
True. It's a celebration of the Bavarian culture.
Exactly. There are so many cool traditions.
Like what?
Well, for example, they have this whole ceremony for tapping the first keg of Oktoberfest.
Oh, I've heard of that.
The mayor of Munich does the honors, and everyone waits to see how many swings it takes him to tap it.
I bet he practices all year.
Right. And then there's the costume and rifleman's parade.
Yeah.
They call it the Trachten und Schützenzug.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
I know, right? But it's incredible. 8,000 people, all dressed up in traditional Bavarian outfits, marching through the streets.
Wow, that must be a sight to see.
Definitely.
And don't forget those awesome posters they make for Oktoberfest every year. Speaking of which, I bet those rides are pretty awesome too.
They have everything, even a roller coaster.
No way.
It's called the Olympia Looping, biggest transportable roller coaster in the world. And then, of course, you have the classic Ferris wheel. Willenborg's Ferris wheel has been there since the 70s.
That's awesome. And what about those carousel rides?
Yeah, they have those too. You have to check out the Crinoline Carousel. It's like taking a step back in time with these beautiful designs.
From a simple horse race to a massive festival with millions of people, roller coasters, and enough beer to fill an Olympic swimming pool.
It's come a long way.
And to think, it all started with a wedding.
Talk about a party.
It really shows how powerful traditions are.
Absolutely. Bringing people together to celebrate.
It makes you wonder, what will Oktoberfest be like in another 200 years?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
One we'll have to save for another deep dive.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, that about wraps up our Oktoberfest deep dive.
That's gross.
And to you, our amazing listeners, thanks for coming along. We'll see you on our next deep dive.